The amount of tint that a person has on his or her window can make night driving hazardous for everyone. And it's not just about seeing oncoming cars.
If you're relying on being able to see the car's headlights to recognize there's a car coming at you, you're in a bad situation to begin with, because not everybody turns their headlights on. Obviously, the window tint reduces your ability to see outside your vehicle. If you have somebody that's dressed in dark clothing walking alongside the road, or bicyclists, we have a lot of people in this city that like to ride their bikes, even at night. You'll see people out running or riding bikes or walking at all hours of the day and night. It's just a safety issue for us, for the motoring public, and for our pedestrians.
Tennessee state law says that your windows should allow at least 35% of the outside light to enter your car.
So there's a couple of reasons why we're enforcing law, and that is officer safety. Obviously, with some of these tinted windows, it's very hard for an officer, especially at night, to see into the vehicle as they approach it on a traffic stop. And others, safety of the people that are on the road. We've even had some extreme situations where we've seen people have to roll down their window at night to be able to see if traffic was coming. It's obvious that's a hazard to the other people on the road. And now there's technology with the window tint meter that actually gives us, it's a calibrated piece of equipment that actually tells us the light transmittance through the windows, taking the guesswork out of whether the tint is legal or not. It's made it a little easier to enforce the law.
If you wouldn't mind, let me get you to roll your window up to about right here so I can test it with this meter. It needs to be 35 or less than 35 in order to be compliant with state law. Okay. And your tint is actually 20% light transmit. Okay. Can I see your license, registration, and insurance, please?
Now this brings up several issues, like how does a person know how dark their windows have been tinted? This company that tints windows has a meter and will test a person's car if they bring it by. I went by a local auto parts store to see how the do-it-yourself window tinting kits rated their own products. The numbers were printed on the side of the boxes. At this store there were 4 options. There was 2.5. Now remember that this means that only 2.5% of the outside light would be allowed to go through this tint. There was 5%, not much better, 20% still not legal, and 35% which technically would be legal, but there's a problem.
Almost every window, regardless of whether you can tell it with the naked eye or not, has some tint to it. The manufacturers install that to help block some of the rays of the sun that fade the interior of your vehicle and cause the dash to crack and all those kinds of things. So if you go buy a tint that's supposedly 35% and install it over top of that, then you end up with a light transmittance that's actually lower than the law allows, so your tint's illegal. In other words, if you bought 35% window film and put it over windows that were already tinted at 15%, the end result's going to be you're not in compliance with the law.
If you do get stopped, your window will be tested, and if the tint is allowing less than 35% of the outside light to enter your vehicle, you'll get a ticket.
Our goal in this enforcement action is compliance with the law. If somebody is issued a ticket for window tint, if they come into compliance with the law, either by having the tint that's too dark removed and legal tint reinstalled, or just having the tint removed altogether, if they bring proof of that to court, normally the judge will take that into consideration in making a determination in their case.
If you're planning on getting your windows tinted, you will need to pay close attention to how much tint is applied. Get those numbers wrong, and you might be paying to have the tint removed.